the RYA Dinghy show. Today we have Steve Cockerill joining us. Can you tell us a bit about yourself and your job, please?
Oh, a bit about myself?
Yeah, just a bit about yourself.
Oh wow, I could do that for hours. I started Rooster 23 years ago, and I started Rooster when I didn't like doing engineering. At the time I was working on the next aircraft carrier, which was a bit dull. And I had a passion for making products for sailing. In fact, I started off making a bit of rope called Polylite, which got gold, silver, and bronze at the Olympics in Sydney in 2000, which was kind of the launch pad for Rooster to become a brand, or for me to give up my day job as an engineer.
What makes Rooster different to any other brand?
Well, you could say a name, but I think in a way it's an ethos. If we give prizes at a regatta, we'd rather give it to the last three finishers rather than the first three. It's about encouraging people. It's about teaching people about how to enjoy the sport, make it accessible to everybody. You know, I think some brands might try and be elitist and not share information, whereas we're the opposite of elitist. We're everybody together sort of thing, and I don't feel that you can't ask a question, you don't feel that you can't learn something, because we're there to help you and teach you.
So what made you start the Rooster brand? What kind of sparked it to go on?
Well, like I say, I was coaching at Olympic level. I sort of semi-left my engineering job and was doing a bit of coaching and doing the ropes. And I tried to get manufacturers to make hiking shorts, because they weren't even in the general use. There was like a few specialist manufacturers in Australia, but people weren't making hiking shorts. So I thought, I've just got to do this. We've got to do things that people need for sailing. So I guess I was inspired to do that. And when I started making products, I'd take them to shops or to people to sell them, and they'd go, no, why do I take your product? I take Henry Lloyd and Buster and Gull and everything else. They didn't want to take my product, so I decided we'd have to do it ourselves.
Did you expect Rooster to go as big as it did?
I think that, 30 years ago, the testosterone was flowing through my body, and I thought I could take on everybody and take on the world. And I think you have a feeling of invincibility. I mean, at your age, guys, you can take on the world. Anything's possible. And I think at that stage, I felt like I could do anything. And I was a big-headed 35-year-old who thought you could do anything, sort of thing. And I had a dream to be as big as Musto in 10 years or something. But in our little small sector of the market, I think we've managed to achieve it eventually. Somebody once told me I needed £1 million to grow Rooster the size of say Musto in 10 years. And interestingly, I've never had £1 million. I started with 2 credit cards, but along the way I've had some good investors and had some lucky breaks, so we've got there so far.
So what's your favourite product made from Rooster?
It's my favourite product. Well, I couldn't sail without my hiking shorts. I couldn't sail a 200 or a Europe or anything without my hiking shorts. I love this year's new product. We've managed to reintroduce the hot top, and just because I'm getting old, I'm feeling the cold more. I do love that, and of course, I'm always wearing my aqua fleece. It's during the winter months. Now that product is the bread and butter that keeps us alive, to be honest, aqua fleece. I couldn't say I've got a favourite. I love my hiking boots. I've got too many things I like, and I love them all because I've invested in them all so much over the time. And I kind of love even our suppliers, because we've managed to work with suppliers to get a good working relationship, to give them a good life, and to manage to produce products and keep you guys happy on the water.
What advice would you give to young sailors like us?
Okay. I hope and pray that you are not the sort of sailor that gets to 21, decides that you've not made it to the Olympics and sailing is not for you anymore. And I hope that you just get a buzz out of sailing and try different boats. I mean, at the moment, I'm sailing radio controlled model 1 meters. I'm sailing Europes. I'm doing a Nationals and a Worlds in a Europe. I'm doing a Masters Nationals and a Masters Europeans in an Ilka 6. I'm doing the 200 Nationals and a bit of a Southern Tour and a 200. I'm sailing a 500 Nationals and a Worlds. And I'm learning to wing foil, and I get excited by doing all these sort of things, and I'd love you to keep being excited about sailing. There's so many opportunities to have fun that you can keep doing events and keep enjoying it, rather than thinking that at the end of youth sailing is the end of the world, because that's the last thing I'd want from anybody.
So what's your view on the current youth pathway up to from youth to Olympian?
I don't think I do have a view on it, actually. I'm probably not up to speed, to be honest, now. I thought I was encouraged by, and I know some people probably weren't encouraged by, the fact that you were making it more regionalised. Because I thought, you know, to do it, you'd have to have lots of money, and the parents would take you to different parts of the country from weekends and weekends and weekends, and it would be really quite expensive. So I was encouraged by the idea of making regional places of excitement and to regenerate clubs, because you know I learnt some of my best things from a guy who was 20 years older than me and a graduate at Tamworth Sailing Club, but he's an ex-national champion, and I learnt loads racing against him. And sometimes you find yourself, as you were before, travelling halfway across the country to go to an inferior venue to train against some guys, when actually you just need to bring people around you and encourage people around you to make a real positive, hot place to sail at your home club, which is much more eco-friendly and also attracts more people to the sport, because kids at your club go, hey, this guy's training, let's go and join them. And with the ability with WhatsApp or whatever, you can really make groups of people with like-minded interests to go sailing together and improve together.
Well, thank you, Steve, for having us so we can talk to you today. And is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I just hope you have a great time at the show, guys.
Okay.